probably the best morning show ever hit the atmosphere. Let's be clear, there's plenty others that do it B.I.G., but keeping it a buck though, none will get you up though like GMG. With all the news and real point of views you can use, light and heavy topics we peruse, even a laugh or two. What you talking? Good morning, gang, be the issue, and take your friends and them, can and all, come on in, tune in. You ain't gonna want them in state, and even the trolls and haters, we end up being their favorite. Cause from 8 to 10, we get it in, believe that. I mean, from where else could you go when you a part of the show? Definitely GMG, cause when you show love, we show love back. First thing in the morning, we get you through, so after the yawning, wash up and wipe your face, get your snacks to come on in, get comfy, but most importantly, in all caps, what do we have here? I don't know, probably the best morning show ever hit the atmosphere. Let's be clear, there's plenty others that do it B.I.G., but keeping it a buck though, none will get you up though like GMG. With all the news and real point of views you can use, light and heavy topics we peruse, even a laugh or two. What you talking? Good morning, gang, be the issue, and take your friends and them, can and all, come on in, tune in. You ain't gonna want them in state, and even the trolls and haters, we end up being their favorite. Cause from 8 to 10, we get it in, believe that. I mean, from where else could you go when you a part of the show? Definitely GMG, cause when you show love, we show love back. First thing in the morning, we get you through, so after the yawning, wash up and wipe your face, get your snacks to come on in, get comfy, but most importantly, in all caps,
Hey, looky. Good morning to ye. It's your boy, Big Phil Speaks. And this is the Good Morning Gang Morning Show, brought to you by myself and that GMG, the Good Money Gang. Listen, it's Wednesday. What is it? January 10th, 2024. Hump Day. Listen, y'all know what I like to say. I don't care if you're getting off of work. Go ahead and then out to work. If you're on the news, on your phone, on your laptop, computer, or in the newspaper looking for work, or if you're looking over at your significant other, your bum boo thing, trying to put in some work, the Good Morning Gang Morning Show is going to get you on your way. Listen, huh? How y'all feeling this morning? How y'all feeling? Y'all see the title, As Much as Things Change, They Remain the Same. Listen, we got a lot to talk about today. My voice is kind of, but I'm going to get through it. I got that Good Morning Gang early morning groggy throat. Pause. That part. Who we got in the building? Night Rider, the home team, GMG, the moderation king, Southeast Slimmy he's in the building. Dana Mac, good morning to you, GMG. Papa True Guns, what's up, nephew? Bab Wilson, GMG in the building. Bree, good morning, gang. J-Man, 1/3 of that good HR team. What's-upper? He's in the building. Rest Up is in the building. He said he done saved money by switching to Geico. That's some bullshit because Geico part of that bullshit. I ain't gonna say that again. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Listen. Sexy Sugar Mama is over on the good Facebook tuning in. Good morning to you. Azizi, yeah, you in the building. You are in the building. Good morning. Welcome aboard. You definitely did it righteously. You feel me? Good morning. Music for God, too. Good morning, darling. Listen, we in the building, huh? Before I go forward, make sure you hit that thumbs up for your boy. Book up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Book up. Listen, because you ain't going to want to miss Nathan. You know what I'm talking about? And then more importantly, hit that notification bell, bing, so you'll be in the know whenever the Good Morning Gang morning show or the Feel the Love Fridays or anything that I put on this good Big Phil Speaks channel comes to fruition. Listen, you want to be one of the first to know, huh? And then most importantly, take this live and share it to 1 to 7 of your peoples, your weeples, your friends. Hell, send them to your enemies. I don't give a figure D. We want the menage. I want the menage with the algorithm. Huh? I know y'all got love for your boy, but listen, it's enough for me to go around. Enough for me to go around. Listen, I want a menage with the algorithm so that the Good Morning Gang morning show can get out there where it need to get to. That part. Let me get back to what I was on. Jazzy, good morning to you. I see you. Listen, Rest Up said dynamic good morning, huh? That part. Look, sexy sugar mama that came over from Facebook. Like, I'm here on YouTube now. C. Baptiste is in the building. Good morning to you. J. Pierce, good morning. Who will comply? J-Man, if you know my history, complying ain't... I'm a team player when I need to be, but the complying part, comply with these. You feel me? I'm going to leave that. Sucker Free Wednesday all day and day, J-Man. Established, she's in the building. Happy hump day. Listen, huh? Who else we got in here? You was knocked out in the car. Damn it, Jazzy had a long night. Oh, damn it. Shalom, she's in the building. Good morning, huh? J-Man, I don't know what the hell you be talking about. I think J-Man be either going to bed or getting up, chiefing. And you know what I'm saying? Whatever strain he on, be having to or cloud something. Hey, neighbor. Man, they be bugging. Desmond D, another third of that good HR team. Super is in the building. Huh? Listen. Main over there on Facebook was goody like the mob. Huh? J-Man, I see you. Who else before we get into the business of it? Young Dreads, Good Money Gang. Salute. Who a mess? I be chilling. I don't want no problems. Keisha Hall can have herself a ball if the man sets off in order. She's in the building. Listen, huh? J-Man said, I do both. Pause. That sounds crazy. But you got it. LPZ, that DC Reggie. He ain't from DC, and we don't be doing Reggie in DC. You better ask somebody. Pause. For those that don't know, Reggie is that regular daggler. Y'all talk about. Listen, anyway, how y'all feeling on this wonderful hump day? Middle of the week, middle of the work week for some, another day to get at it, and more importantly, a blessed day to be here, because guess what? You were among the fortunate to open your eyes, to be able to inhale and exhale and take in the day, and to also get another chance to make it right or make it better. You hear me? And hopefully you smart enough that while you got this day, you will plan, plot, and strategize that if you're so blessed to see tomorrow, then guess what? You'll make it an even better day than it is today. That part. It don't matter what you're going through. There's always somebody going through something worse. No matter what your situation look like, there's always somebody in a worse situation. Listen, it don't matter what your finances, your pockets looking like. It's always somebody that got more lint in their pockets than yo. Listen, just know that you're blessed and be thankful for the life that you got. Be thankful for the moments you got. Love on somebody on purpose, like I always say, with purpose. Listen, we about to have added, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't know what you talk about, J-Man. I ain't nobody's plug. I ain't nobody's plug. Sam 5 Sam Buzz coming through with that ooh-wee. Good morning to ye. Dez, I don't know what you talk about or who you talking about. What you y'all are bugged the hell out. Y'all is really on. Listen. Long as it is sweet, safe, and fun, you can all. Hey, J-Man, I see you moving. I see you moving in the comments. That man. Listen, Miss Cruz, Miss A. Cruz, hey, good morning to you. I heard DC have dodo. I ain't never heard of none of that. Dodo or doodoo. Hey, J-Man. Hey, Dez, I think we got some better situations than up there to keep it a buck. If I must say so myself. If I must say so myself. hey, Night Rider, tell that man. He know what's not of what he talking about. Philip, don't you have a show to do it? Listen, and I am. Listen, there's been a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, good, bad, and or indifferent. There's been a lot going on. I don't know where should I start. I don't know what should I get into first. Should I get into it? I'm gonna ask y'all. Should I go with some knowledge, some information? Should I go with some celebrity news, some trending news? Should I go with some bugged out news? Which one should I go with first? Which one should I go with first? Hey, rest up that part right there. They don't know what they talk about. Which one should I go with first? Leave it up to me. I'm gonna go with some yeah. Let's see what we got here for the boys and girls. I think I'll start here, right? I think I'll start here to get this one out the way. Y'all watch this video clip. Vivica and Janetta Fox had a little slight barb, or might have just been a nonchalant, kind of careless or thoughtless comment when asked about Taraji P. hitting and getting paid and things of that nature. I'm gonna touch on that in a second. Y'all watch this real quick.
Do you feel like now is the perfect time to have the conversation that Taraji kind of continued over Monique? You know, you're an actress, you've been out there. Is this the perfect time to kind of talk about that in the right platform?
You know, darling, to each his own. Do you know what I mean? I'm very happy, very blessed, and to each his own. I didn't have that experience, so, you know, but to get your piece out is important. I totally understand that, and I love my girls for looking out for each other, but I'm good.
Now, some could look at that as a nonchalant answer. Some people could look at that as a not well thought out answer. And I guess I get it because she was asked on the fly. But all this talk about I'm good and this, that, and the third. And this is my thing, right? This is my thing. Black actresses get paid less than black actors, get paid less than white actors, both male and female. So this is part of our problem as people, that a lot of times there's so much division that we can't even stand on business when it comes to the common goal to allow for black actresses, brown actresses to be paid more according to their worth or whatever the case may be, so they can get more of an equal scale when it comes to these movies, these not low budget movies, but low budget too, but blockbuster movies, et cetera, et cetera. And the fact that she kind of seemed so dismissive to me, just looked away. And when it look away to online, it look away to the people that in the powers that be. They looking at it like, oh, they don't care. They don't care at all. Hey, Miss Piggy Lace, buenos dias. It's like they don't care. They like, okay, if they don't care, why should I care to raise their money? I'm going to give them what I want to give them. Because they don't even stand together at all. Listen, the same way, that's a fact, y'all. The same way these actors and writers and stuff went on strike, for SAG-AFTRA and all these other things. People need to stand in the gap for our sisters. We got to stand in the gap for our women first and foremost, but people need to stand in the gap for our sisters, because if they're giving you quality, if they're giving you pristine jobs on these roles, blockbusters down to the tubies, then they should get paid accordingly, depending on, what the movie calls for to be paid out for. Listen, stop shortchanging us. Stop shortchanging us. But we need to stop taking the short change too. We got to stop taking the short change. Listen, know your worth, ladies and gentlemen. Know your worth. Huh? Because if you don't know it, they're going to act like they don't know it either. Matter of fact, they're going to know it and be like, I'm going to give them what I want because they're going to take it. That part. Tiffany, good morning to ye. Good morning. Yeah, all right. J-Man, you're definitely smoking something. Just say no. Just say no. What the hell you doing down there, Jazzy? Lord, Jazzy, why you done dead? Oh, handling business. Okay, all right. I was about to say, hey, Kathy. Hey, Cotton Candy. Good morning to ye. Listen, Tito Marie, I see you in the building. Good morning. I think it was a little shade. I also think Vivica is good. She has been a hustler, a wig line commercial. Yeah, I know. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, come on now. Come on. Because if I'm not mistaken, I remember Vivica complaining a little bit in the past too. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember her complaining. And above all, it's a hustler's game. It definitely is a hustler's game, meaning you strike while the iron is hot. When you got something else bubbling and people are paying attention to it, and you getting light and shine for it, that's when you introduce your products. That's when you introduce anything else you got going on, music, clothing line, wigs, eyelashes, whatever the case may be. You introduce those things while the iron is hot. Miss A Block, listen, good morning to you. Another third of that good HR team is in the building. Huh? Dana Mac, they should have stood with Monique. I think with Monique, it wasn't so much her. I think if Monique would have handled it a little bit different, she would have garnered a lot more support. I think. However, there are some that was hiding behind a tree, like to see what was going to happen after Monique did and said what she said too. Whereas they should have stood up and said, you know what, Monique, you right. Instead of calling her behind the scenes and saying, yeah, girl, you right, they should have stood on business with her and said, listen, because that's how you move something. There's power in numbers, there's power in knowledge, there's power in money. Listen. Hey, Lady D Jones, good morning to ye. Good morning to ye. J-Man, you bug. Hey, that's it right there, J-Man. They thought they was gonna get blackballed too. That's a fact. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss A Block. I ain't see you in the building. I'm sorry, Miss A Block. I'm sorry. She trying to get that passport in order. Let me find out, Jazzy. She moving around. Frank Murphy, my uptown compadre, he's in the building. Good morning to ye. Nikki always blessed is in the building. Wow, right is right. She said it how she was feeling. But is that right? Well, you talk about Monique. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I agree with you, Nikki, on that, because who am I or who are you or who are they to tell somebody how they're feeling and how they should disseminate it? But I will say this. I will say this, right? Um, there's a scripture. I can't remember the chapter and verse, but it says, "Don't let your good be evil spoken of." Meaning, one, you're not going to please everybody, and the truth being what it is will sting who it needs to sting. But the way in which you deliver it and the way in which you go about it can make the difference. Can, not all the times, but can. But I agree with you, Nikki, on that. That she was telling her truth, and it was what it was. That's a fact. That's a fact. Jaleel is in the building, Sarah Lynn. She done came on in. Huh? What did Monique do differently than Taraji? I think I think Taraji spoke to the general plight more so than making it personal to one or more individuals. Yeah, you saw that there and heard that there was some kind of art or difference between her and Oprah or whatever. Supposedly they amended that or whatever. But the way and the way in which Monique did it, she kind of like really attacked certain individuals. And I get it though. I get it because at the end of the day, if you getting caused by a couple of them and one of them telling you, hold on, baby, handle it this way, you'll be good. And then another one was like, you're right, but you should shut up. And even going on a talk show, and another individual who's coming under scrutiny these days, Steve Harvey, is telling you, that you got to play the game. You got to play the game. Aren't we done with playing all these games? Thus the title, as much as things change, they remain the same. Aren't we done playing the games, the bullshittery, the nonsense? Aren't we done? Aren't we done? We also don't know their relationship. Could be. Tito Marie. We also don't know their relationship. Taraji may have shaded Vivica. Taraji's acting career has reached different levels. Could be. Or Taraji might have got a role or two that Vivica wanted or tried out for. You never know what's going on in Hollywood, to keep it a buck. Rest of says she went against the grain. That's all she did. I mean, yeah, true. That's a fact. I need Queen Latifah to say something before I really lose faith in this whole thing. You know what? You're right, Sha. You're right. Some people are quiet on purpose. See, me, I get quiet so I can survey the situation, so I can sit back and peep all sides and see who gonna say what and how they moving and how they really feeling. That's me. But some people get quiet when they're afraid to speak out, when they're afraid to say something, or they feel like everything's gonna be taken away from them that they've built or allowed to have or whatever. Me, I don't care about losing what I've been given, because you can't you can't take away what's in me. Period. Don't let that go over your head. You can't take away what's been innate, that's been pushed through my DNA. Pause. As I came into this world, nothing. That pretty passion fruit. Good morning to you. That's a good point. Taraji did the promos and whatever was asked. Monique, however, seemed to have a problem with their character on Precious. Taraji seems to have played by the rules, never complained. I will say this though. Monique had a very valid point though. They wanted her to do promo over in other countries and get on flights out of her own pocket, to go promo Precious and some other things that was out of the scope of what they agreed to, out of the scope of the contract. And sometimes we want more for less. Sometimes we want more for less, and people will try to use influence or come on, we peoples, come on. I got you on the back end as a reason that why they feel like people should do what they want them to do. When in actuality, you got to stand on business, be about business. And if business spells out XYZ, then that's what the hell you should be doing. You shouldn't be trying to swindle. You shouldn't be trying to bamboozle. You shouldn't be trying to change the scope of a contract unless you're going to amend that contract. You shouldn't be trying to shortchange nobody. You shouldn't be trying to ask for people to do more than what they need to do. Now, if somebody wants to do more than what they're contracted to do, then so be it. That's on them. That's on them. That's of their goodwill. But they should not be made to feel like that's what the hell they gotta do. And a lot of times we as us, we feel like, oh man, we peoples. Do it for me. Man, listen, I know your prices is good, but can you knock it down about $10, $20 for me? Come on, man. Knock it down about $10, $20. But don't go in Walmart and ask them to knock it down $10, $20. Go in Neiman Marcus. Don't ask them to knock it down $10, $20. Macy's, I can go on and on and on. And buy for what is hidden for, whether it's on sale or regular price. We got to stop doing that too. We got to stop trying to take advantage of our own and stand on real business. And if it's in the contract, live it out on both sides of it. If it's not in the contract, see if y'all can renegotiate something to get it in the contract or whatever the case may be. But in Monique's situation, I feel as though, you know, people were shortcutting and then tried to blackball and get on her because she wasn't trying to go with all the flow. Like, hold on. It ain't like they asked her to fly from DC to Florida or DC to Texas or even DC to California. They wanted her to fly from wherever she was to overseas. Come on now. To promote a movie on her dime. What part of the game is that? Where they do that at? Listen, shout out to Monique, shout out to Taraji, shout out to even Vivica A. Fox. Helena Loreno, good morning to you. Welcome aboard from that good Facebook side. I see you. Young Drez, I'm not equating it. Definitely not. King Skills, good morning. That's a fact, rest up. That's a bigger story. That's a bigger conversation. Let's see what I missed while I was running my mouth a little bit. You'll be able to see it back on here, Kathy. Once this is over. Excuse me. I must have missed something because. Okay. Nobody's going to stand up. They're scared of getting blackballed. Very few will speak up. And that's the thing. We living in a day and age where we can create our own. We can have our own. We can do our own. Listen, a lot of people talk smack about Tubi and some of the movies that come out on Tubi, et cetera, but don't understand the power of a more independent network and the ability to get your things get your projects put in different markets. I remember, I'm of an age, I was maybe 8, somewhere in between 8 and 10. I think maybe 10, but somewhere in between 8 and 10, I remember BET coming on for half a day. It definitely wasn't the BET it was in latter years when you had your 106 in Parks, your Video Souls, your Rap Cities, and all these other things. Nor was it the BET of the day. You didn't have the plethora of content that you see on there today. But Bob Johnson, who was then the owner of it, had a vision for BET. People need to see the vision. People need to see their vision. Everybody's not going to see your vision, but people need to see their vision and live it out and understand that, okay, I might be starting out on a Tubi or this, that, and the third or whatever. Because Netflix at one time bore the same, how can I put it? Some people talked about some of the movies that went to Netflix or whatever the case may be. Look at what Netflix is doing now. Look at the movies they are producing now. Look at the opportunities that comedians and other actors and writers and producers are getting now through Netflix. Listen, but more importantly, we got to lay the groundwork for our own networks. We have to lay the groundwork for our own networks. Listen, not to slight no other race, not to slight no other human being, but it's time for us to have our own. But we have to come together of one accord and agree on something for the greater good. It ain't got to be about whose name is going to be attached to this, who is going to get the first in history nod, who's da 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 da. Stop the bullshittery. We have to stand together on something and move forward. Not just talk about it, but be about it, huh? That's a fact, Dana Mac. Stick together. There said we feel bad for them rich people. But see that there, but at any given moment, that could be us or one of our family members, one of our loved ones, somebody that we care about that might get propelled into a position, and they're getting paid 75 cents on a dollar, 50 cents on a dollar of what they should be making. Then it becomes personal. Oh, no. They shouldn't do my Shaquisha like that. They shouldn't do little Leroy like that. It should matter if whether we know the people or not. It should matter all across the board, because things like that affect the future. Our children are the future. Their opportunities, the things that's meant to be in place for them, are at odds, so to speak. But knowing now what the color purple cast has been through, lack of accommodations, amenities, Monique probably would have considered what so many. Excuse me. Pretty passion fruit. You got a point. You got a definite point. Let me go forward. No, rest up. We're not doing that. It's always been 360 deals in all industries. And man, listen, this is the thing, right? The term 360 deal has been around for a relatively short time. But in essence, what Momo Sauce is saying, what Frank Murphy is saying is true. Them contracts been around for a while, where certain individuals and certain companies have been getting a piece of everything that the artist has been doing for years. It just wasn't titled that. It wasn't packaged quite the way that it has been in latter years. I remember things when I was 3, 4, and 5 years old. 3, 4, and 5 years old. Right, Phil. What was Video Soul? It played in the early 90s for like 2 hours, and that was it. Video Soul is a historic show with none other than Donnie Simpson. Donnie Simpson pioneered that show and had that show lit. It was what 106 in Park became before 106 in Park. It catered mostly to R&B artists, soul artists, gospel artists, more so than hip hop and rap artists. Thus, the reason and need for a Rap City to come about. However, it gave you performances, it gave you interviews, it gave you insight. They did outreach. Donnie Simpson held it down for a lot of years. And that's the goal of a show that I want to put together real soon. It'll be like a mesh between Video Soul, Rap City, with a little bit of more interesting twist or whatever. More will be talked about that later, at a later date or whatever. But yeah, Video Soul was like that. A lot of other shows tried to mimic what Video Soul did or whatever the case may be. Also, I think everyone who works in the entertainment industry believes they will all become instant billionaires, but that's not always the case, especially for people of color in this system. That's a fact, Sarah Lynn. That's a fact. That's why I said earlier that it's a hustler's world. Like, you got to make the best of the situation and get your money outside of that, maybe outside of acting, whether it be clothing line, wig lines, lash lines, makeup lines, whatever the case may be, health and wellness product, whatever your niche is, whatever you got a passion for, use the little bit of shine, the lights you getting as a green light to get to some paper. Don't wait for the paper to come to you. You go and get it. CMD, good morning to ye. Can we pay our people the same as the man, if not wishing Wishful thinking, Phil. I was thinking, oh. Yeah, in a lot of instances, we can pretty passion fruit. In a lot of instances, we can, because some of these projects are being put on by people that have a hella deep pocket, and instead of giving some people like, you should be thankful, I'm giving you this, give people what they're worth, if you can afford it, if the project can withstand it, if the budget can hold it, and some people got the pocket to do just that. They did the work to get there. That's a fact too, Jaleel. Whoever you are, Jaleel, you be on point with a lot of stuff too. I just want to let you know that. I was in and out for a funeral. Condolences, J-Man, for whoever you attended the funeral for. Charlie Hustle, good morning to ye. Most of them, the first rich person in their family. That's a fact. You deserve what you put the work in to get. That part right there. Let me move forward. I'm all the way back. GMG Productions coming soon. We will protect our black women. Yeah. Hey, J-Man, GMG, we all we got. Listen. Video Music Box, a little different. But Video Music Box, definitely trend-setting. Then we had Video Music Box Bob Simmons. That's a fact. MTV wasn't rocking with us. I remember when the first black folks was really kind of, like at a time on MTV, you'll have Lionel Richie, you'll have Michael Jackson, you'd have what's his name, Caribbean Queen, Billy Ocean, certain other individuals. I remember when Run DMC broke the rules, so to speak, by being played on MTV. Excuse me. I've seen a whole lot of like different historical things or whatever through my time or whatever. The Bird, good morning to ye. Donnie's eyes used to scare you when he first came out. The Green Eye Bandit, huh? Right now, the mayor of Kingstown is filming in my area. Movie extras are on the set the longest and get paid $250 for 12-hour shifts. Man. But on the flip of that, some extras don't get paid shit. Some extras don't get paid nothing. So $250 for 12 hours for somebody that might need that money, that might be a good, I don't know. GMG Records was giving out those deals like, that's why, whatever. Sabrina C, good morning to ye. CMD, just treat people right. That part right there. Social class has nothing to do with it. Wrong is wrong. That's right. That's a fact. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, before we about to move into the next topic, hit that like for your boy so we can get in that algorithm. I want to menage with the world. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Boop, boop. You're not going to want to miss out on some things that are happening. And make sure you're not missing out on it after you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Bing! So you be in the know whenever the Good Morning Gang morning show drops on these good channels. Listen, we about to give you a more robust presentation when it comes to what you're looking at on multiple platforms. So y'all get ready. Listen. Run DMC, subtle thoughts, that part right there. I know J-Man be bugged out. That's when BET was really black owned, when it moved to Broadway. The Euro had owned it, but it was still, man, listen, you know what's crazy? And I blame DC for this, right? The only reason why the reason why BET moved to New York was because of certain zoning and certain things BET wanted to do, and DC wouldn't play ball to a certain extent, or whatever the case may be. You know how Atlanta has somewhat become a mecca for music and entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. DC behind New York and LA was primed to be the next mecca. It was primed to be the next mecca at a time when it came to entertainment. We had BET. Everybody and their mama, celebrities and such, were getting houses in and around the area. In and around the area. It was a lot of things planned. Johnny Gill, from his solo career, My, and New Edition fame, was supposed to have been him along with a couple other people were supposed to build this real big entertainment complex that was going to house robust studios and things of that nature to just draw more people to the area, as well as provide more outlets for the local artists or whatever at a time. It's been a lot of things that DC was supposed to be, that the powers that be and other things had a hand in kind of destroying or allowing to escape. Thus now they're talking about, and I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan through and through, but now they're talking about the Wizards, the Wizards and the Nationals being moved out of DC into Virginia, possibly. The owners trying to move them out of DC, possibly, because DC won't do what they need to do to get them a better situation for our stadiums, etc. I think, or is it the Commanders? Whichever, it is two of the three teams that I know. They talking about moving it out of DC, and the amount of money that would be lost to the city in doing such. Excuse me. The amount of money that would be lost to DC in doing such is incredible. All because people's pockets ain't being padded enough to give the okay and the nod for certain constructions. You got the RFK Stadium basically for nothing, when y'all could build a way better stadium. They were proposing all this when they were talking about trying to get the Olympics to come to DC or whatever the case may be. But the RFK Stadium is just sitting there. There's a lot of ground over there, a lot of land over there that could be utilized for a better stadium situation for multiple teams that would provide for better parking and more robust features and whatnot. They're up there building up the waterfront for other things. Anyway. Billy Ocean, my soil bro, that's a fact. D Blade, good morning to ye. Vino Diva, good morning. Then said next topic. The Bird OGMG and album. Y'all crazy. Hey, love Ariel, good morning to ye. Next topic, we're gonna move on with the next topic. They're trying to move the Commanders to Virginia. That's a fact. He think it's more money there because DC ain't playing ball. DC ain't playing ball like they need to be. And when it comes to business, what we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Okay, where are we going from here? Let's go here. Let's do this one.
In Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, to be exact. It's been revealed 215 bodies were buried in unmarked graves behind a state jail in Jackson, of course. Attorney Ben Crump is now calling for an investigation. Families of the dead reportedly had no idea until last month. Some of them, those grave sites were only labeled by a number and a metal rod. Joining us to talk about it, activist Arthur Silky Slim Reed, who also works with Ben Crump.
So, Arthur, this started with Dexter Wade's case back in March, right? He was an individual who was hit by a police officer, and his family thought he was simply missing, but he was dead and buried, and no one notified them.
Well, the thing about it is that he had identification on him, Isaiah, and the medical examiner gave it to the lead detective, who said he called, didn't get an answer, and they didn't worry about doing anything else. What we're finding, Isaiah, is that Mississippi is Mississippi. It's an ugly Mississippi. And this is sad because now we have 6 other individuals that has been put into this same grave. And if you look at the video from when we first went to that site, buzzards were flying overhead. And we were trying to figure out, why are the buzzards flying overhead? But it's because they're putting them in shallow graves, and the only thing that they're putting them in is a body bag without embalming the bodies. So the stench from the bodies are drawing buzzards there. It's so inhumane for anybody.
Well, that was a show and it ended kind of fast. However, listen, we got to understand that as much as things change, they remain the same. That's the theme of today's show. That one case, the Devin Wade situation, sounds like a cover-up because they said that he was hit by a police car and nobody knew what happened to him or whatever the case may be, and come to find out he was dead and buried in this unmarked plot with little metal rods that was supposed to indicate something. What they're supposed to indicate is crazy. In shallow graves, not even embalmed, not even properly buried in body bags. It makes you wonder who all is out there on that grave site. It's behind the jail, they said. We don't know if those are mostly inmates that have died in the jail or these people that have been died mysteriously or of heinous acts throughout that area. We don't know. And I hate to say it for my folks that tune in that are from Mississippi and from certain other areas, certain other states. They still are living in a certain time in certain areas that ain't talked about. There's still sundown towns. There's still certain people living in shacks. Y'all talk about the projects. Y'all talk about, you know what I'm saying, project tenements. And y'all talk about this, that, and the third when it comes to poverty and things of that nature. But some of these historical films that you see when they drive through these towns where the roads aren't paved and they like 1 room, 2 room shacks and things of that nature, it's some people still living like that in America on United States soil. Huh? I saw J-Man say they have lynching signs and things in certain areas. Understand something. While we get bamboozled, hoodwinked, and led astray by a lot of all this popular news, even what I'll be reporting on, et cetera, and what other people are doing, the legislators are passing certain laws that affect us on a daily basis that we don't get wind to till it's too late. One, because we don't stay up on it. But two, right up under excuse me, right up under our noses. People are living in utter poverty. People are dealing with, you can't go to this store in 2024. You can't go to this area after a certain time in 2024. We got to deal with the bullshittery that I believe probably was the only good thing. The only good thing for me with the Trump presidency is that it allowed you to see what was lying in the dark. It made it emboldened it made them feel empowered, so they came to the light. A lot of the bullshit that was under the United States Band-Aid was taken off. The Band-Aid was taken off, and Trump put his finger in it and allowed y'all to see the festering wound called racism, called classism. To whereas a lot of things that you thought was this small, or maybe it's a little small pocket, was a little bit bigger. It was a whole lot bigger situation when it came to racism and how people think about us as black people, brown people, etc. How people think when it comes to whether they feel like they're superior or not. In this day and age, in 2024, there's no way in hell there should be a town that should say you can't come to my town. There should be no city, no state allowed to function as such. And with this situation here, it goes to show you how little they care about the human soul, the human body, let alone our bodies. Hey, Tiggy, good morning to ye. Hey, Kisses, good morning, good morning. That's it right there, right? Some people are delusional. They think that racism don't exist no more. Racism is in full effect. Some of it is just blanketed. See, I can respect an outright racist person. Let me put context to that. I ain't rocking with them. And if they come out their mouths wrong, oops upside their head, but I can respect the fact that they are the way they are. Why? Because they showing you just who they are. It'd be the people that smiling in your face, shaking your hands, putting their arm around you, my buddy, my pal, my friend. and behind your back, they talking, they doing the black jokes, the coon jokes, and the laughing with their like counterparts, persuasion counterparts, talking different about you in their household with their families, talking different about you. Those are the people that I despise, that I can't stand, because they the worst of them all. They the worst of them. At least the open racists, you know where they stand. Cool, that's you. Stay over there. As long as you don't disrespect me, you can do what the hell. You can live your life. You ain't got to intermingle with me, but just leave me alone, because you get disrespectful, that disrespect gets dealt with. This is 2024. Do you know the police stop people from going from the country to the city at sundown in Mississippi? A legal DUI stop is what they call it. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all out here giving recipes in the comments. The comments is always on fire. Establish that right there. It's the closeted racists right there, the closeted bigots right there. Them the ones. How's little Phillyana doing, lovely? Take it. That's it right there. Show me who you are, and I'll handle you accordingly, or not handle you at all. But it be the fake ones that be in corporate America, in big cities and other places, smiling in your face. That's a good boy. That's my guy right there. That's, man, oh man. But the show Lovecraft, now this continues, showed an interesting, pretty passion fruit. Lovecraft was different. Lovecraft was definitely different. I wish they would have allowed that show to go on a little bit further. Excuse me. But I think it ruffled a few feathers. I think Lovecraft ruffled a few feathers, pretty passion fruit. That's a fact. Sabrina, that part, she said she named the middle name Phillyana. She said she gave her baby girl middle name Phillyana. That makes me the godfather. You know? That part right there, Sarah Lynn, I definitely think the you people racism is super dangerous too. Listen. You finna pair some Henny with some OJ? That mad. Hey, Nikki, that part. I am the godfather. Giving you an offer you can't refuse. Don't I got that Marlon Brando Godfather chin right there? Yeah, Phillyana. Hey, QV, good morning to ye. Listen, this topic brings me to the next one. Is multiple videos and things I can play, but I think I'm only gonna play one, because it's giving it too much light, too much shine. I changed her name to Phil. I'm gonna leave that name for you. You know what? Hey, you know what, Tinky? I can't believe I was about to Now here's a scene. Here's a scene that's been playing out in New York over the last day or two, or whatever the case may be. And it kind of in the same vein of what we were just talking about, but in a different way, called privilege. And the things that are allowed. Because just imagine if this was us that did what they did, what would have happened? How much more raucous, how much more violence, how much more vitriol would have had, what came out of it. Look, watch this.
Why? She's up. Yo,
Listen, where we at here? I'm gonna read what somebody posted. It says, some time ago, a group of extremist students broke through a few walls in adjacent properties to the synagogue at 784 through 788 Eastern Parkway to provide them with unauthorized access. Earlier today, a cement truck was brought in to repair those walls. Those efforts were disrupted by the extremists who broke through the wall to the synagogue, vandalizing the sanctuary in an effort to preserve their unauthorized access. They have since been arrested and the building closed pending a structural safety review. Lubavitch officials, which I guess that's some kind of branch or sect within the Jewish community, I don't know, so don't hold it against me, have attempted to gain proper control of the premises through the New York State court system. Unfortunately, despite consistently prevailing in court, the process has dragged on for years. This is obviously deeply distressing to the Lubavitch movement and the Jewish community worldwide. We hope and pray to be able to expeditiously restore the sanctity and decorum of this holy place. Now, you know I got to be careful with what I say because of the network that this is on, and the powers that be, etc. But I'm gonna tell it like it is. Had that been us, had that been a Baptist church, had that been a Pentecostal church, had that been a Seventh-day Adventist church, hell, there would have been a lot more. There would have been a lot more furniture moving, and it wouldn't have been by just us. The police would have run amok. The police would have been doing us dirty up in there. And then from what I was told, from what I read, the tunnel came about during COVID or something because they weren't allowed to go and have service or whatever the case may be. So they went into a woman's part of a woman's temple or woman's sanctuary or whatever in the Jewish faith and built a tunnel through that people can kind of sneakily come through to hold service or whatever the case may be during COVID. This is what I read or whatever the case may be. And cool, that's their business. That's their right, I guess, in a certain extent. That's what they want to do, so be it. The problem I have with it is that had it been us, the police presence would have been way more crazy. The way people were being arrested would have been way more crazy. There would have been a lot more off the hook, a lot of batons being swung, pepper spray being sprayed, and a lot of black and brown people getting beat up. They showed a whole lot of restraint for the Jewish brothers and sisters. Make it make sense. You got patience. You got patience and rapport and decorum when it comes to people of the Jewish faith, but can't have it for us. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Sarah Lynn, look. Aha. Look. J-Man said, leave it alone before we get what you call it. No, they wanted to expand the building. A Jew told me, well, you can't illegally do it. You can't illegally. Imagine, hold on, Miss Piggy, imagine if we wanted to, OTF Finagle, Good Money Gang salute. Imagine if that was us wanting to just expand the building and dig tunnels or whatever the case may be. What would have happened with that? What would have happened? That's a fact, Marie. That's a fact. Had it been out here, we'd have been under the damn jail. Listen. Yeah, YouTube, pretty passive fruit, YouTube. We're going to end up on Clubhouse. No, not that Pretty Passion. I'm talking about this network, YouTube. Notorious, they would have expanded. Excuse me. They would have expanded our ass to jail. That's a fact. Kathy, they damn sure do. You know why they get away with a lot of stuff? Do you know why they get away with a lot of stuff? Because money equals power. Knowing the laws and the statutes of where you at exudes power. And they stick together. They stick together heavily. Let this be a representation of what togetherness looks like. In a roundabout way, let it be a visual example of what togetherness looks like. They know the powers. They know the laws and statutes. They know how to move money amongst themselves, as well as how to buy into certain things, real estate, insurance, and things of that nature, to where it's real power is made. You should see when they have a funeral, the police shut the block down for them. They run, man, listen. And in actuality, I can't be mad at them. They just doing what they supposed to do in a way. What we doing though? We allow ourselves to be handled all kinds of ways. Another case of togetherness into which we need to fall in line to. We're gonna end up on Tubi. T-Page, I'm sorry, T-Page. She said, look, get it right. No, not Tino Marie. I thought you was Tino Marie, another blog. I'm sorry. You know what, J-Man? You know what? I ain't playing with y'all. But this story and the prior story leads me to this next situation. Y'all saw me share it. It's how Kamala got her spot. The husband has connections. Hey, Sarah Lynn, listen. The next story, I've shared it. I shared it on IG yesterday. The next conversation or bit that you're gonna see kind of is a segue from the discussion about the before this one into this one. I want y'all to pay attention. It's a few minutes long. It's a few minutes long, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it. I think it's like about 6 minutes long, but it's well worth it. For those that didn't see it on IG or whatever the case may be. Let me see. Yeah, here we go.
How I came to buy this. So I get a call from one of my friends who had just visited this flea market, and he said that they have a bunch of cool stuff. Me, flea markets, cool shit, I'm in there. I go to this flea market in this very rural area in Indiana. Now, this is deep red Indiana territory, fits perfectly down there with Alabama and Mississippi. I walk in and I see it is a large crowd of older white people, 50 and up. They are looking at me like I just walked off of a UFO. As I'm walking around, I'm seeing a lot of Confederate flag themed memorabilia. So with all these white people here, I said, I'm going to buy one of these flags because I want to see what their reaction is to a black guy buying a Confederate flag. So I got it and I'm carrying it very visibly so everybody can see that I have it. And I definitely got their attention. I'm in line and this younger white dude says, man, I got to ask you, why you buying the Confederate flag? And I can tell he asked what a lot of people were wondering. So a lot of ears start to tune in. And I asked him, what do you think I got it for? And he said, hopefully to burn it or wipe your ass with it. I got a teammate. The room was full of people that were like his racist grandparents he didn't like. Immediately after he says that, an older white lady says,
that's so unpatriotic. Why would you want to be disrespectful to American heritage?
And I'm like, Youngster, stand down. I got this. Ma'am, you are right and you are completely wrong about something. You are right about the fact that it is American heritage, but it is a side of American heritage. And that side wanted to preserve the institution of slavery and felt that blacks were subhuman. So it is American heritage, but it is reflective of the team that you are playing on when it comes to American heritage. And what you are completely wrong about is the Confederacy is the most unpatriotic group of people in American history. Patriotism is loyalty to your country and the person chosen to run your country. In this case, Abraham Lincoln was elected president of the United States, and the United States had chose a direction, and the Confederacy did not agree with that and wanted to succeed from the United States. They engaged in an act of war against the government. If the Confederates were patriots, they would have followed the direction that the country was going and the leader that was elected to run this country. What they did was they chose to pick up arms and go to war against the United States of America. That is the most treasonous, unpatriotic thing in American history. Then an older white guy chimes in and he says this.
Well, why do y'all always blame America for slavery? Slavery was in Africa. Slavery was in Rome. Slavery existed in a lot of other places outside of America.
Youngster, they fucking with the wrong one. Sir, there is one ingredient in American slavery that made it completely different from any other form of slavery that existed on the planet before it. And that ingredient was based on a pseudoscience saying that the people being subjugated were not even a part of the human race. They were not Homo sapiens. They were subhuman. So the people being enslaved were not even being considered human beings. Slavery in other places never had that element. In Rome and Africa, the people being subjugated were not seen as not being human. It was based solely on might is right. I defeated you. You can't beat me. Go take care of my cattle. But the idea that Africans were not even humans made American slavery totally different. It was more dehumanizing than any other form of slavery that existed on the planet before. This is an American ingenuity. If I own you and you have a kid, I own your kid. And if your kid has a kid, I own that kid. I own your whole bloodline. It is an egregious miscalculation to equate slavery in Africa, slavery in Rome, and what the fuck was going on in America. Then I hear this.
And I got a lot of those flags around my house, and I don't understand why people get all in a tizzy about this.
Okay, ma'am, let me ask you this. If we was in Germany and somebody was flying the little mustache guy's flag and saying that it was a part of German heritage, do you think that would be right?
It is a part of German heritage. I don't see why it would be disrespectful.
Youngster, this bitch super racist. She had a little boy with her, and I asked her, was that her grandson or something? She says yes, he was autistic. So I told her, ma'am, do you realize that if you lived in Germany at that time, your grandson would have been euthanized under the Nazi regime? Shut her ass up. The rest of them are looking dumbfounded, and Youngster looking like we just won the Super Bowl. Got to the parking lot, chopped it up with Youngster. He's super cool. He invited me to his bonfire where we burning this damn thing.
What he did was give you a great characterization of a situation where it showed old school mentality, old school white mentality, with a more liberated or more current modern white mentality when it comes to racism or whatever. And this is also a problem that the powers that be and certain people are fearful of. They're fearful of that younger white mentality, to where we all people, we should all get along. You're my brother whether we got the same skin color or not. They don't like that, and they're fighting against that. or whatever the case may be. In this situation, the brother that put on this video gave some very valid information, and I like how he used the example of the lady's child that was with her. Not talking about nobody's kids, but what he did was he made it relatable to somebody that wasn't trying to see it in his light because of the color of his skin. He turned it. He was like, okay, over in the people that y'all like to look up to in their country, your child, your grandchild, or whoever that might be, because of the disability or because of the difference in them, would have made for them to been treated subhuman and euthanized. Y'all know what euthanize mean, right? Put out of your misery. He in doing so, he allowed her to see it from a different viewpoint, because you took color out of it now. It ain't a black man, white man thing. It ain't a black and white thing. This is your own kind. This is your own people. And what they did and how they thought about somebody that you love dearly, how they would have thought and dealt with them under your principles, under your thinking. I thought that was ingenious. I thought that was dope. I thought that was... What are y'all talking about in the comments? Vino D with that part right there. Wait, he's jumping around through history, but it's not a conversation starter. The country is much sensitive than we ever could imagine. He's kind of giving you an isolated situation that he encountered going where he went. And I think why he jumped around is to show you, okay, you're not trying to receive it for this purpose. You're not trying to receive what I'm trying to tell you historically for here in America, slavery in America as opposed to other areas, etc. For those that always say, slavery was all over the place and da-da-da-da. But he gave context to the woman in a manner that she could definitely relate to, because her family member was autistic. And at a certain time in Germany, where a lot of these racist and fascist people here in America always turn back to Germany, Nazi Germany, or whatever the case may be, to their rhetoric, to let her know what would have happened to her loved one in a time, given the mentality that's been utilized and thought about when it comes to black folks through slavery, or whatever the case may be. You never seen a hat with nothing on it, a blank hat. What? I don't know where y'all been living. What are y'all talking about? Pretty passion fruit. You say you don't understand what the emphasis on subhuman or why that was picked. Look at the Constitution. The Constitution said that at a time said that we were 3/4 of a human. 3/4 of a human, which means subhuman, which is why certain people justified slavery, justified us being enslaved. We were the only people, I believe, that were categorized as 3/4 of a human. The Chinese went through a form of slavery to a certain extent, indentured servitude here in America. So did certain other races. The black race was the only one, to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, to whereas we were looked at and put on paper as less than the equal human as a white counterpart. Thus, they had to amend that later on, but they need to go back and really fully usurp and change that whole Constitution anyway. But let me go back. Hey, Sha, you better stop playing with me. Right. 3/4, 3/5, whichever one it is. Listen. Yeah, it is. It's on my page. It's definitely on my page. I don't have the link for it. Go to my IG, Big Phil Speaks. It's on there. It's one of the last reels that I put up, or matter of fact, posts that I put up. Feel that info could have been presented differently by merely bringing up Planned Parenthood, Black women. What, Pretty Passport, why would that relate to what he was talking about, the scenario that he was brought into? Yes, other things could have been utilized. Let me say this. There's plenty of examples that would showcase racism, that would showcase historical basis against and for certain things. One man's presentation does not equate to the end all be all. Let me say that. Because yes, somebody could definitely bring up Planned Parenthood and Black women in the 80s and 90s were euthanized, but that, hold on. Euthanize is not being fixed. Pretty Pass Root, correct me if I'm wrong. Euthanize is when they're taken out of here, getting their snot box rocked, being assassinated, being killed, being whatever the case may be. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, different people will give you different examples of racism as how it exists, how it played out, and what people are still going through. You can't knock, how can I put it? Because one man's interpretation or one man's dissertation on the excuse me, on the topic is not the end all be all for the total situation or topic at hand. Could never be. Because different people have different experiences. I thought the term was for animals. Like when you Right. Pretty Passport, you hit it on the head. It was utilized that, put down like euthanized. That's a fact. But that's what the terminology was for people in Germany of when you were disabled, when you had mental disabilities, when you had certain things like cerebral palsy and autism and things of that nature, when you were deemed anything other than the pure white seed or whatever the case may be that Nazi Germany was pushing, you were subjugated to being euthanized. One way or another, you were put in concentration camps, which is kind of like a form of slavery in a way, because they had them do remedial slavery work and or toyed with them, experimented with them genetically in science experiments, i.e. like the Tuskegee Airmen situation, the Tuskegee experiment, et cetera, herded them into mass crematoriums and euthanized them, done away with them. The same as you had mobs, lynch mobs that would come into town to euthanize, to lynch people and or gun people down because they didn't like the color of their skin, or the allegations, the false allegations that was brought upon them because they already looked at them as subhuman. It's sick. You're right, Takey. It is sick to use those terms, but that's what was utilized. Those are the terms that were utilized, and he utilized it in such a way, because you got to understand, when you're dealing with people with an older mentality, especially when it comes to racism, and they know that they're right, even though they dead ass wrong, you might not be able to reach them with certain other things. Like when he broke down the differences between, slavery as we know it in the United States and slavery as it's been in the world, they weren't getting that. They weren't receiving it that way. So he chose to utilize something more relatable to that white woman in her own flesh and blood, which was the autistic child or grandchild that was with her, so that she can see it differently. Because sometimes people are blinded by color. Remember in Time to Kill. Y'all seen the movie Time to Kill? In the movie of Time to Kill, right? The lawyer had to make people, a jury of mostly white folks in the South in that day and age, see past color when it comes to what would you do, what would you have done if your daughter was assaulted, was raped, or whatever the case may be, and abused and done the way that the young girl was done in that movie, in that book, or whatever the case may be. And if you haven't read the book, read the book, because the book is even deeper and greater than the movie. He had to present it in such a way at the end so that jury could get outside of the stance of skin color. And he said, everything that I told you, I want you to close your eyes and imagine everything that I told you, and imagine if that person was your child, your loved one. That changed the whole perspective of it all, because when you take color out of it, you got to deal with the humanity of it all. You have to deal with the humanity side of it. Okay, you can't play on the black. It's a black person. Can't play on it's a white person, an Asian person, a Jewish person, Native American, Latino, Hispanic. When you can move those things off the table, then you have to deal with the humanity side of it. Forget if they rich or poor, classism. Deal with when you make it so that people can relate to it, no matter who they are, what race they are, what statute they are in life. It changes the dynamic of the thought process, and that's what he did at the end of that, or whatever the case may be. R&B salute. What's goody like the mob? Yeah, that movie right there, T-Page, yeah, definitely was one of the ones that touched emotions. You hear me? It's like Rosewood and Mississippi Burning. One of them ones that touch a lot of emotions. Us older people had to read it in high school and college when they cared about us a tiny bit. Yeah, because certain things now, y'all can't read about it. Your kids can't read about it, can't be taught about it, because it's being removed from schools, and what schools allowed it to be taught or read, or whatever the case may be, and what textbooks they allowed certain truths to be talked about. D Blaze says, facts, Phil. I was scared of those movies as a kid, and in the heat of the night theme song. Hey, Tinky, they removed so much. Listen, I'm glad you brought that up. There was a time where I used to have my kids read for an hour after school, or whatever the case may be. They hated it at the time, right? But I did it for a reason, not to punish them, but to expand their minds. Because when I came up, we had book reports out the gazoo. We had to read and do reports on different things, whether they were fictional or non-fictional, or whatever the case may be. But when you read, you soak up information differently than when you visually see it, or whatever the case may be. Because one, you have to use your mind and envision what it is that you're ingesting through your eyes by reading, or whatever the case may be. And there was a lot of information. You had to go seek for information a lot more in those days than you do now. Now you can go on the internet, still seeking it, but it's so much more there and obtainable if you looking in the right places. Whereas before, you had to go to libraries and check out books and whatever the case may be. But I wanted them to read so that they got a better understanding into certain things, whether it be things they wanted to read or things I wanted them to read, so they can get an understanding that we're much greater than the things that are being taught in the school system. And I put this out there. I task each and every one of you, right? Some of you are a little bit older, so it might be for your grandkids or your nephews and nieces, but some of it for your sons and daughters, or teach your sons and daughters to do it with their kids. Have them read a book. Have them to read something. Have them to research something, even if it's on YouTube or whatever the case may be. Research some things. Learn some things. Learn some things. There's some of y'all know that that I'm a part of the TKBS Nation, the Kenny Burns Show, whatever. I do the Underground Vibes segment for the Kenny Burns Show, and got perhaps a show coming up on their network or whatever the case may be. Y'all should come over there and check it out sometime. On YouTube is the Kenny Burns Show. They drop a episode usually Mondays, whatever the case may be, audio, and then on Tuesday we'll recap it on IG Street. So when y'all see me over there, it's in between 7:30 and 8:39ish. That's what it's all about. With the conversations are dynamic, and I would implore you to bring somebody with you, or maybe have your mature enough child to come watch and listen to. But because it'd be some deep. We had a great conversation last night, a dope one, and it's okay to deal with the shenanigans and bullshittery and the trending topics or the celebrity gossip and the toxic nature that some platforms and things are a part of. But then at times you need to feed your soul. You need to feed your mind. You need to put something in it that's positive and or constructive to your well-being and to the well-being of your household, your family, your kids, your neighborhood, your community, etc. So come check things out over there, whatever the case may be, if you get the opportunity. Understand it's not like other platforms, so all the trolling and all that will not be tolerated. They're gonna get you up out of there or whatever. But come with a positive vibe and listen. You ain't got to necessarily want to cam up, but just listen. You might learn something. But which goes back into what I was saying about teach your children to read. Teach your grandchildren to read. And I don't mean cat, rat, run. I ain't talking about teaching them to read the fundamentals, but encourage them to read a book. Read a book. Some of what they want to read and some of what you want them to learn. Because the school systems, the powers of the be are trying to remove information about slavery, information about certain atrocities that happen, to make it seem like they did not happen, to have them read books that will advance them in literacy, advance them in financial literacy, advance them in science and math and various other ways. And also, just more importantly, to expand their minds, because books will take you into a place where, like I said, you have to envision certain things where it could be a certain place in time. It could be a certain place in the United States or abroad that will make them want to leave outside of their hood, outside of their community, and at a time when they can, and go visit a place, learn more about a culture, see it for themselves. You get what I'm saying? Teach your kids and encourage your kids to read. Pick up a book and read. The Berg, I appreciate that. Yeah. That part right there, Dana Mac. I started reading hella young myself. That's a fact, Night Rider. A different vibe, a different experience. You saw me shy. Yeah, no trolling established, because the conversations be so good. It's like, if you have the right frame of mind, you can be like, this ain't the time and place for that. Let me listen. Let me see what they talking about. Let me learn something. Let me and maybe tap in to get a point across or something. That's a fact, Sarah Lynn. And also the episodes of the Kenny Burns Show are streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, under the podcast, here on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. You're right. Kenny is his own movement, J man. Whatever the case may be, activated heavy. Phil, did you see Coretta Scott granddaughter told you? They said it was the daughter. It was the daughter in regards to Megan Good. I get what Jonathan Majors was trying to say. He was saying, listen, through all the adversity, through all the bullshittery I just went through, that Megan Good kind of held me down, that she was there for me, whether it's a plot ploy, whether it's for clout, whether it's a serious, authentic situation. He's basically saying she held him down like Coretta Scott King held down Martin Luther King. Martin and Coretta's daughter said, hold up, put some respect on my mother's name. Like, this ain't for clout. My mother was really one of them ones. I'm paraphrasing, but I could hear us looking at this. No, my mother one of them ones. What you not going to do is trivialize my mama. Listen, I get it. I definitely get it. Thank you, Shaw. Appreciate that. My son could read at 2 years old. He's now a journalist with a major network. I know that's right. Shout out to your son, Vino. Shout out. Dana Mac, that's it. They don't go to the library anymore. Hell. And if people want to be lazy to a certain degree, get an Audible account. Get an audible.com account. Some books are put on in audible form, meaning somebody is reading the book out loud, whether they're acting out the book or they're actually just straight lace reading it. Hell, do that. Do that. If you and your peoples are too lazy to get a book, get an audible.com account and listen to a book while you're moving around, while you're cleaning up in the house, while you're working out, while you're in traffic, dealing with rush hour traffic, trying to get to work or whatever. Read a book. That theme song for Reading Rainbow, to me, is so dope, because it says a whole lot. And it sounds so elementary the way it's sung, but if you listen to it, it means a whole lot. I wish that show would restart itself or come back on. That's it right there, Subtle. He said, not just read, but read to learn and retain information. That part right there. Phil, why you never took the time to teach? Oh, Lord. Y'all are serious. That's a fact, Sarah Lynn. People should definitely research Coretta. She was a force even before getting married to Martin Luther King. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, Knight Rider. It's levels. It's levels. I get what he was trying to say in the moment, but it's levels. Some things is untouchable. Some things you don't just play with. Look, no choice. Butterflies in the sky. Kendall is fine. Has light eye adjustment. That's a fact. Pretty patchful. Aha. That's that. You know what? I'm on my iPad, but I can show y'all my catalog on Kindle. I'm glad you said that too, because I forgot all about that. Pretty patchful. That's a fact. Amazon Kindle. A lot of books you can purchase in Kindle format, meaning it's a digital format to which you can do this and read. You don't have to have that physical thick ass book in front of you, but definitely. And you can get some conventional topics and some unconventional topics as well. I just got 2 Audible books because I'm not good at picking up a book often. Listen, it's a start, shot. It's a start. You never know. It might encourage you to get a book or 2. You never know. We need to remember children are not always wrong, and we as parents are not always wrong. If we can make our children understand this, they can come to us with all their problems. Yeah, we as parents are not always right. I know what you meant. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. I'm about to go to the store for some apple pie. Look, hey, J-Man, have at it. You bugged out. I stopped reading since 89 when I graduated. Dad, I know you playing. I know you playing. Whether you picked up a newspaper, a magazine, or something, you read something, Dad. Stop it. My 11-year-old taught me that Coretta could also sing too. I didn't know that about her neither. See, it's never too late to learn something. That's the thing. If you're too smart, too wise, and think you know it all and can't learn something new, you the biggest fool in the room. because there's always something to learn every day of your life. You hear me? Every day of your life is always something to live, something to learn. A lot of people did Frank Murphy. He said, I found Donald Goins in prison. Yeah. I started with the funnies of the newspaper, start anywhere, even reading the signs of street. Listen, I can dig it. And they have a lot of free books on Kindle. That's a fact, Cotton Candy. I only force myself to read more because of my son. I read just not books. What you read, Dana? What you read? Understand something. It's so much that it's so, because there's so many stories. There's so much information that are in books that have not yet been brought to light in media, other media formats, whether it be documentaries, whether it be fictional movies, non-fictional movies, dramas, hell, comedies, horror, whatever the case may be, thrillers, suspense. There's so much more that can be obtained. And then what you also got to look at, if you got a favorite movie, if you got a favorite movie or a movie that you think is dope, that you really like, that is based off of a book or been brought to to cinema from a book, you need to read that book, because there's so much more to that book that's not able to be brought to film because of the time frame that it would take to present it all, and you're missing out on a whole lot. The Color Purple, how it was done, the new Color Purple and the old Color Purple. You need to go read that book, The Color Purple. Listen, the Lord of the Rings series, all them books is like this thick, big thick ass books. Pause. There's no way they could squeeze that into 2.5, even 3 hours. No way per movie. That's just certain examples. I'm gonna start as a part of the morning show time. I'm gonna start introducing books. It's not a fault. I wanted to do a book club at a time, but I don't know if I'll have the time to do it, or there's enough vested interest to do it. But I'm gonna start introducing books for y'all to read, and it'll be on y'all whether y'all want to read them or not or whatever. But some of them will be fiction, some of them will be nonfiction. A lot of them will pertain to us in various situations, whether it be financial literacy, whether it be self-empowerment and self-improvement, whether it be history, our history, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to introduce some books in, and y'all can go out and get them if you so choose. If you don't, then you won't. Half y'all need to read the Bible as listening. So, you know what, Des, I'm glad you said that. There's another story of the things I've been seeing, whatever the case may be. Hey, K-Dub, and this is not to offend nobody who feels as though they have another faith or have no faith, but Nas X, I don't know what in the devilish foolishness that little nugger is on. Good job, Jazzy. Congratulations, darling. I just saw today, this morning, when I was researching something, I saw like 3, 4, 5 different clips with this Bama doing a whole bunch of sacrilegious stuff, even more so than what he did in that awards show. And I'm starting to feel like it ain't the label that's making him do this. This is of his own sick ass, depraved mind. Forget the fact that he wants to sleep with whoever he wants to sleep with. Forget the fact that whoever he wants to sleep with. He's making a mockery of a spiritual institution or religious institution, depending on how you look at it. And to me, it looks sickening. And all you got to do is go on IG and put his name in a hashtag. You'll be able to see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? What is wrong with him? Like, what do you think you're going to accomplish? That's a fact, Pretty Passion Fruit. That's a fact. Night Rider, that part right there. Thank you, Jazzy. I'm just like, the stuff he's doing is way beyond controversial. It's is it's so sacrilegious. But then he probably living out his true remember, because he made the little sneakers or whatever, or was trying to make the sneakers that had actual blood in the little thing or whatever. Like, some things is just so sick and depraved, and you'll have some younger folks that might be fans of his gravitate to his bullshit. And that's why it's our job as parents, grandparents, community leaders, and people that are respected of our communities to look out for our youth and teach them. You don't have to put people down in teaching, but then show them information, give them the opportunity to learn some things outside of what they see on these internet streets, and get a better appreciation for everything, or whatever the case may be. Because that's sick, and that turned my stomach. I was like, this, somebody need to go oops upside his head. And I'm not talking about like euthanize him, so to speak. I'm talking about like wake him the hell up. Hey, Jazz, listen. When you get back from what you call it, let me know, Jazz. You know we got work to do, yeah. Did you see the post Ryan Davis did about him? I don't know if that was one, Sarah Lynn, but I saw like 3 or 4 different ones. One with this Bama had a tray of communion crackers and a tray of communion, like cups of what was supposed to be the wine, and he just like this doing all this and that. And then he looked dressed like he was like one of the disciples. And then it was a bunch of mess, and I was like, I get it, and I don't get it, because I get it. It's about clout to a certain extent, but the imagery and what we're thinking is okay for our youth is crazy. And this is one of those situations where there needs to be a common cause with things like that. Just the same way as we got to kind of deal with certain elements in our communities that shouldn't be there. Shit like that need to be, man, listen. Vino Diva, I can help with the book club. Okay. Well, if we get enough interest, might make it happen. I remember Michael Baisden did one at a time. I don't know if he still does, but Michael Baisden did one that was huge because his platform was huge. Jazz, we need to see you in our office before you. I went through Passport Ferry, got it in one day for only $4.05. That's what's up. That was the Last Supper, which was such a heavy. That's a fact. Understand something. Listen, people are entitled to their freedoms and do what they want with their life. But when you impose it upon other people in such a way, when you got vulnerable, when you got gullible, when you got naive, when you got unmatured minds visualizing, seeing, being able to participate in things that are meant for a more mature mind, or more of a thinker that can actually really disseminate what they're seeing, or whatever the case may be. It runs the ground of it runs into the area of propaganda. It runs into the area of indoctrination. It runs into the area of a bunch of foolery. But have at it. Jazzy, look. Jazz, you never know. A. Marie has a huge book club too. Okay, shout out to A. Marie. And she's a college alum, a Howard alum. That's a fact, Vito. It's a fact. Anyway, we'll talk, Jazz. You know, we locked in. You know, we locked in. I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not gonna share the screen for that one, but I'm gonna leave y'all with this one on last topic real quick. Keefe D, the self-snitching, self-reported part of the gunman crew that was part of the demise of, allegedly a part of the demise of Tupac Shakur, has been granted a $750,000 bail and house arrest while awaiting trial. How do y'all feel about that real quick? More importantly, who's paying this $750,000 to get him out? One. Maybe somebody might pay it to get him out to get at him. Who knows? These are all questions. Or do you even care at this point? Do y'all care what happens with Keefe D? Because this Bama been all across social media for some years. Yeah, I did it. I was in the car. Like murder has a statute of limitations anywhere. Yeah, I was in the car. I handed them the gun. I had the nephew the gun that killed him. That's accessory. That carries the same time in a lot of states and statutes as the actual murder. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But guess what? Guess what? He's gonna have to deal with the consequences one way or the other, whether it be in the courts of law or it be the courts of the streets. Somebody's gonna say something's going. Listen, Puffy getting them out. Vino Diva, aha. Excuse me. Night Rider's doing the intro and the outro. Damn it. If he wasn't dead, J-Man, that would be dope. Oh man, Night Rider, tell him we different where we from, Night Rider. He said I dodge bullets like Neo on the Matrix. You hear me? That part. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, Young Thug's Rico case week is, and see, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Some Rico cases, just because they're presented as Ricos, don't mean that they're so ironclad. I've learned that. The federal government most times have you dead to rights, or have enough on you that they back you into a corner where you take a plea deal to get some time, because they put them football numbers over your head, and they like, at the end of the day, if we can get some time out of you, then we're happy, or whatever the case may be. But some of these RICO cases don't be as ironclad as people think they are. And the difference between federal court and state court is federal court definitely goes off the laws and statutes. So if there's any technicalities, you getting up off of it. The state is a lot more wiggle room for both the defendant and for the prosecution, more so for the prosecution. So we're going to see how that pan out, though. Really, J-Man? Oh, wow. When am I going to go live, Tiggy? Probably a little bit later, because I know I'm going back night. That's partially why my voice sounds like this, because I didn't get that much sleep last night. So I know I got 10 minutes. Jazzy. What you trying to say, Jazzy? But yeah, I'm going to go live later on today sometime, whatever the case may be. I'm driving. I need the entertainment. How far you had to drive to go to wherever to get your passport? Pac was a problem because he didn't bite his tongue. A lot of folks wanted him to disappear. Yeah, that's a fact. He talked a lot about the foul cops, a real issue. When you present yourself as woke, as people want to say, and that you know some things, you become a problem. The worst thing you could be on this earth to certain people is to be an educated black man. One, because they fear your melanin, they fear your essence, they fear the history, the true history behind you. But they also fear if you got an educated mind and you know some things, you know the laws, you know the statutes, you know how to get at the real money in America, the real wealth. You know how to speak eloquently, whether in multiple crowds, whether you pontificating and expounding when you need to, and kicking the willy bobo and talking, you know what I'm saying, that to your kin folks when you need to that way. They don't like that. They don't like there's a certain power in that they can't gather because they can't do it themselves. And they don't like that in you. But guess what? Guess what? You strive to be the best male, best female, man, woman that you can be. You hear me? Don't let nobody tell you what you can't be in this world. Don't let nobody talk about what you can or can't be in this world. You try to be the best person you could be in this world. You hear me? And nobody, let me say this, nobody holds the wheel to your destiny. Nobody holds the keys or the reins to your destiny but you. Can't nobody tell you what your greatness is and what it ain't. Nobody can stop you from getting to where you want to get to but you. I ain't talking about people that suffer from delusions of grandeur or mental illness, but I'm saying a sound-minded individual, can't nobody tell that individual what he can and can't be. Nobody. Nobody. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Phil, you be going live too late, man. I be missing everything. Now I'm gonna go live a little bit early. I'm gonna go live a little bit early established. Oh, 35 minutes. Jazzy, I'm about to be up off here. How am I moving shaky, pretty passion fruit? How am I moving shaky? I'm telling you like a T.I. Yes. I slept in my car on live yesterday. Oh, damn it. Established, we need extra time. He don't be going. Tinky, it ain't that I don't be going live anymore. I'm preparing for certain things. And the platform that I want to use, because mind you, I'm doing this all by myself, right? I'm doing it all by myself. So the software that I want to use is a lot more intricate, but it allows for a lot more dynamic usage or whatever. So I've been studying certain things or whatever, how to do better outlet layouts and stuff. So you all will be engaged and have a better visual experience when I do this show and do other shows. So I've been working. Just because I'm quiet, don't mean that I'm not doing it. I'm working, I'm watching, I'm listening. I don't know what you're talking about. Because you should keep your associations with lies to yourself. Just saying, protect them. What association with lies? What are you talking about? I don't have no association with liars. So I don't know what you talk about. Y'all are bugged out. Has anyone who owns a business? I'm actually doing mine, Sarah Liz. I'm actually doing mine. That part, Dana Mac, that part. Jazz, that part right there, GMG. Listen, I could give a damn what another person say or what another person think. At the end of the day, my judgment comes from one person, one entity. The rest of y'all can judge on, but I'm going to continuously do me. Like it, love it, or hate it. But guess what? The goal is to make an impact, to leave a legacy, and that's what I'm on, to leave a legacy for my youngins and their youngins. You get what I'm saying? And along the way, if I ruffle a couple feathers and or make some people unsettled, so be it. That's what's going to happen in life. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep doing me. And I'm going to do it positively. I'm going to do it purposely. and to the best of my abilities. On that note, D-Lo, what's goody like the mob? On that note, we need a few more tater-tays. Don't close the door yet. I got to get up out of here. I got stuff I got to do. Woo-woo. I'm not tempted by no sirens. Whoever that is, pretty passion fruit. Whoever you are, for real. I'm not tempted by no sirens. I'm about money. I'm about dollars. It got to make sense. More importantly, I'm about the upliftment of us. The upliftment of us. Lovely take you, silly. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, smile because you never know what it might do for somebody, including yourself. More importantly, love on somebody on purpose, with purpose, the humanitarian side of it all. Even more importantly to that, I'm not anti-you, but I am pro-me with the emphasis on building we. Let that marinate your melon to the next time we can chop it up and have a tater-tay. Until that day, guess what? I holler. Would I do For the Love of Push special edition? I would establish. Why not? UPT rate GMG 2024, that part. You hear me? Phil, they said you have a tattoo of an apple on my side. Dez, I wish the hell I ever had a picture of a damn apple. Man, look, what? That shit right there is brazy. That is brazy. Listen, y'all have at it. Phil, you need to pay us back about 15, 18 minutes. You left us last week to talk. What? I don't know what you're talking. Phil, it's the way I move. Whatever, you know what? Whoever you are, the way I move, I don't move. I don't move no kind of way. But have at it. Have at it. God bless you. Have a good day to y'all. Hey, Vito Diva, pause. That sounds hella crazy. Pause. I'll eat up any more. I don't know what you talking about. Pretty passion fruit that eat up could be taken all kinds of ways. Pause. I don't know what you mean, but okay. Anyway, you got a phone call and put us on hold. Vito Diva, listen. I'm stretching it out as much as possible, but I need to go back to sleep. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Listen to my voice. I need to go back to sleep. You hear me? Yeah, but you know, no, I don't. Pretty passion fruit. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't even know who you are, to be honest. But, you know, have at it. Have at it. Cotton Candy, enjoy your day. Listen. Y'all make my day better. Oh, that's dope. Thank you. I appreciate that. That part right there, J man. Let the church say. Let the church say. Wavy Crockett, what's goody like the mob? You want to know, but this ain't the way to get me up there, my guy. I'm not trying to get you to come up. I'm just trying. I am curious as hell now who you are, but who the hell are you? But, you know, it is what it is. Phil, you must comply to us. Man, listen. I'm a hell of a chief, and I'm also a hell of an Indian or warrior. But at the end of the day, only thing I need to comply to is God and myself. You hear me? Huh? Shout out to y'all, though. See y'all on Friday. Dana Mac, that's a fact of Mundo. I'm going to comply. I complied. It's 10:01 now. I gave y'all an extra minute. Listen. Special co-host Friday. So, yeah, y'all are bugging. Look, y'all have at it. Vito D. Look, all of y'all, I appreciate y'all. Bye, Phil. I'll keep you on here another 30 minutes. You could never pretty passion fruit because I'm about to get up off it. You hear me? Listen, I'm about y'all be easy. Love on somebody on purpose, and above it all, no matter what you're going through in this life, in this world, put a smile on your face, because that's gonna make them more upset. Because they be like, what that knuckle smiling about? Because I can. That part. I'm out.